welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new here. In today's video we are going to be doing an in-depth dual forms tutorial, so let's get right into it. Alright, so starting off with the prep of the natural nail, we are going to be going in with these two drill bits. So the first one is to remove the dead skin off of the nail bed, and then the second one is to remove the dead skin from around the cuticles. Alright, so starting off with this drill bit, we are just going to be gently going around the natural nail. You do not want to press down and indent the nail, so you're just going to really gently go around and remove that dead skin, and this is going to ensure that your nails aren't going to lift. So I'm going to just be doing that to a few fingers, and then we're going to be moving on to the next drill bit. Alright, now going in with my little ball drill bit thing, we're just going to be removing the skin off of the cuticle. So all that excess cuticle is just going to be drilled off. As you can see, I didn't record like every single nail for these steps just because I see that you can get the gist of it from just like 3. But this is a really fantastic bit. I'm going to be linking it down in the description, and it just makes it so much easier to remove your cuticles if you are not comfortable with a cuticle cutter. Anyways, now we are going in with the sanding band, and with the sanding band you always want to keep it flat on the nail. Do not bring up the wand or anything. You do not want to create any indents in your nail, and you want to be extremely gentle and light to the touch because you do not want to burn yourself and again create indents. And this step is just going to remove the shine of the nail, which will also make sure your nails do not lift. Alright, moving on to the last 2 steps for the prep. We are going in with the nail dehydrator from Model 1s. This is just going to make sure you remove all the excess oils on the nail bed. If you don't have one, you can always use acetone. I just had this one and I like to use it because it's pretty good. And then we're going in with the nail primer, and this is going to make sure your nails stick there like cement. And you want to make sure while applying any nail primers just to be careful not to get it on your skin. And yeah, so we're going to do that, and then we're going to get into sizing the tips. So these are the nails all prepped and ready to go. Alright, so I have my little stand for my nail tips, and now I'm just going to be going in and using the dual forms from Makartt. So they have curved ones and flat ones. I'm going to be using the flat ones because I find they just flatter my nails more. And the way that you know that it fits is if it fits sidewall to sidewall, and I'm going to show you up close here. If there is a gap in between, that's exactly what you want. You want to be able to fit in the product, or else it's just going to squeeze out. So I'm going to choose out all my nail tips and I'll get back to you. Alright, well that was quick. Here I am. These are my nail tips sized, and now let's get into the polygel. Alright, so obviously I'm going to be using some alcohol as my slip solution, and I'm going in with grape floss and marshmallow from the Susanah kit. Alright, so to start off, I'm going to be going in with marshmallow, and this one's going to be going onto my thumb. So I'm just going to get a bit out of the tube and of course apply it inside the dual form. So I'm going to be using my alcohol, and I'm going to use that as my slip, and I'm going to start pushing the polygel into the dual form. So first I start off by pressing it into the side. It's super important to make sure that you don't miss any of the sides. So make sure they're all covered. I usually use this little thing to hold my dual form, that way I can rotate it and see if I'm missing any parts, and that always really helps. So once I'm done with the side, I'm going to proceed down to the bottom of the dual form, and the bottom you always want to make sure it is extremely thin, the application. That way when you go to press it down, it's not going to leak all over the cuticles. You're not going to have that massive bulge at the end of the nail. It will just make it a lot easier. So after that, I'm going to go ahead and continue to push up the sides and make sure everything is covered. Alright, so once my base is down, I'm actually going to be going in with a little extra polygel, and I'm going to be applying that into the middle of the form, and that's just going to ensure that this nail has good strength. I feel like your thumb is so important to have a lot of strength. It's also the biggest nail, so I definitely added a little bit more for strength, and as well as to make the length longer. I can't speak. So now I'm just pushing the dual form down, and I like to start from above the cuticle and push it down to avoid any excess product spilling out. And then of course turning it over, cleaning up underneath, and then I can go ahead and cure it. Once it's done curing, I'm just going to wiggle off the dual form, so that usually takes a few seconds. I just move it from side to side and it just pops off very easily. And there is the nail. So it's a little bit patchy, but it's fine. I'm gonna be doing some nail art, and just to show you, the structure and the strength is super great. Alright, now we're moving on to my pointer finger. So I'm just getting my alcohol on my brush, and I'm going to start moving the polygel away from the cuticle and making sure to leave a very thin layer of polygel there. That's again super important. And this finger was a lot easier because it's such a thin dual form. All I had to do was take the brush and drag it up to where I needed it to be. And then of course just fixing up the sides as I go. And this is going to make the perfect dual form nail. The Makartt polygel in dual forms is probably the easiest polygel to use because it keeps its structure. It's just nice and a great consistency. So yeah, I'm just going to move it onto the sides, make sure everything is covered, and we're just going to pop it on the nail. So once again, I start from away from the cuticle and push it down, and that really makes sure that there's not a lot of product falling out. I wipe it off, I go underneath, I'm going to clean up underneath and then cure it for, I do it for about a minute and a half. I think it depends on the lamp, of course, that you're using, 60 seconds, a minute and a half. I do mine for a minute and a half. I find it makes it a lot easier to pull off the dual form and it makes sure it's fully cured. So I'm gonna go ahead, pop that off, and then after this I'm gonna go do my pinky the same color off camera, and then we will move on to the pointer and middle finger. Alright, so now that those fingers are done, we can move on to these two fingers. So I'm just taking my dual forms, and for these two I'm going to be using a combination of both marshmallow and grape floss. So I'm putting it on the spatula like this. I'm going to put it into the dual form, and I'm not going to be marbling it. I'm just going to be pushing it down the way it was placed. So it's just going to make its own abstract design, and I think that it came out super cool the way it looked, and it was super easy. So I'm just going ahead and doing the exact same process, making sure that the cuticle is very thin, and then dragging up the polygel up the rest of the nail, and of course making sure to cover all the sides. So that's what I'm going to be doing for these two. It's so easy. Like you can see, the polygel moves really well. Here I was having a little bit of difficulty, but it's fine. I just pushed it back down, leaving the cuticle very thin, and then dragged it up. And yeah, dual forms are really easy, super beginner friendly, and if you guys are interested in using some dual forms, use the Makartt polygel. I promise you, it makes the process so easy. It's the perfect consistency to get everything moving. Use regular alcohol, any kind of slip solution you have, and it's just super fun and so easy. I can't stress how easy this was. This was one of the best sets I've done with dual forms. I never actually used Makartt polygel in dual forms. I always just apply it on tips. But yeah, it's super easy, super fun, and they came out really, really cute. Alright, so once again, I'm just smoothing out the bottom, and then I'm going to go ahead and cure it. And then moving on to the next finger, we're doing the exact same thing. I place the colors down and I'm just smoothing them out where they were. I love the design that it created. And yeah, I think they really turned out great. I wasn't expecting anything crazy, but I really love how they turned out. So again, pushing it down onto the cuticle, I'm going to clean up underneath, and then after this, we'll pop off the last dual form, and the nails will be ready to be filed. Alright, so once that's popped off, here are the nails all done, and now we're gonna fix those horrible ledges that dual forms leave with this incredible drill bit from Makartt. I'm not kidding, guys, this is so worth purchasing because it does not hurt your cuticles. When you have dual forms, you go in with a regular file and it like cuts your cuticles and it hurts. But this is insane, and look how easy it took off that ledge. If you guys are interested in buying this drill bit, I do have a code with Makartt and I do make a commission. I really, like, honestly, and I'm not even lying, and you don't even have to use my code, just get this drill bit. It is incredible. Like, look at the result. You wouldn't even know that's dual forms. Anyways, now we're going in with the file and we're just gonna go ahead and create a nice little almond shape. So I didn't keep all the filing in, I just left the filing for the thumb just to show you guys the shape I'm going for, and afterwards we're just going to buff the nails and then we're gonna get into the nail art. So here are the nails all filed, and now I'm just going to go ahead, buff, get rid of all the shine, and then we're going to move on. And I just left the thumb again because there's no reason for you to have to watch me remove the shine from all the nails. Alright, so once they're done being buffed, we're gonna go in with my dotting tool and my C&D Cream Puff Gel Polish, and we are going to go ahead and put that on the palette, and we are going to do some nail art. So I'm going to be doing some clouds because it's super beginner friendly and I'm not the best at nail art, I'm still learning. So I just go ahead and use my dotting tool. I just put 3 dots and then I go ahead and connect them at the bottom, and that usually makes a super cute cloud. But the great thing about clouds is that even if it gets messed up, it still looks like a cloud. So if you're willing, if you want to do nail art, do clouds. They're so easy and they always turn out so cute. So I'm just gonna go ahead and make some clouds on the nail, and then we're going to go ahead and add some stars right after this little cloud. Alright, so now I'm going in with my little thin little paintbrush thing, and I'm gonna go ahead and make my stars. So for the stars, I literally just drew some little X's, and I think that it turned out cute. It was just easy and simple and super beginner friendly. And yeah, I'm gonna put a couple of those, then we're going to cure, and then we can go ahead and top coat. So I will be back in like literally 3 seconds. So that's the nail, I'm gonna go do the rest, and then we're gonna top coat. Alright, so here are the nails with all the nail art done, and now we're just gonna go in with the Makartt top coat that comes with the kit. And after that, the video is done, guys. So I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching. I really hope that this video was helpful, and I have a couple of really exciting videos, a bunch of reviews coming up in the next couple weeks. So I will see you in the next one, and I love you guys all so much. Thank you so much for watching, and if you guys have any recommendations on videos, leave them in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe and like and comment, and I'm really excited to have you here, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!